This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
Okay, CPL fans, we had some interesting games over the weekend. I'll get to them later with the scores and the standings, but for now, we're looking mainly at the Canadian Championship for 2022 coming off pretty soon. And you've got to say, last year, the Black Eye was Vancouver Whitecaps. Now, looking at the standings as it goes, Vancouver Whitecaps' first game, they're taking on Valor FC. I think that, maybe the time has come for the Vancouver Whitecaps to vanquish last year and get rid of that Black Eye. I think, to be quite honest with you, respect to Valor FC, but Vancouver Whitecaps will take Valor FC over the system and move into the quarter-final game. Second one up will be Cavalry FC taking on FC Edmonton. They recently played each other, as you know, 3-0 to Cavalry at Clark Field. And it was a one-sided affair. Bless Edmonton, they tried, but they don't have much quality, and that's what wins you the games. Cavalry have plenty. They won 3-0. Coming off at Spruce Meadows, I think that this return game in the Canadian Championship is going to go the same way. I expect Cavalry FC to win over FC Edmonton. It's possible it could go either way, but very unlikely. Go with Cavalry. So your first quarter-final would be Cavalry versus Vancouver Whitecaps. I think that's a pretty interesting game considering Vancouver's history last year in this competition. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know I'm laughing. Next up, Ottawa taking on York United. I see Ottawa's got a good chance here. You might think I'm thinking York United. York United should get through. But I think Ottawa has got a chance at a possible upset here. That's who I'm going with. You let me know if you think I'm way off base. But, hey, that's what the comments are for, poets. Let me know what you're thinking. Next up, Forge FC taking on CS Mont-Royal Outremont. I gotta say, Forge FC's not having a great game this year so far. Not the great game that they had recently. So, CS Mont-Royal, they may well have an upset chance here. It should go Forge FC. I'm picking Forge FC to move through, but this one could be tricky for the Forge. Just saying, it is a tricky one. Don't kid yourself. But Forge FC is good enough to take it. Looking at Forge FC to possibly have a tough time in that one. And then finally, Guelph United FC taking on Halifax Wanderers. I can see the Wanderers getting through. Recently had loads of chances, couldn't score, but you know what? Maybe the first couple of minutes they'll have some chances and maybe they will score. But on the games, I'm thinking it's Halifax over Guelph United. Looking at the quarterfinals as we look at it, first quarterfinal will be Calgary FC taking on the Whitecaps. I can only see the Whitecaps winning that. Cavalry's a great little team and they could pull off a surprise. But you'd expect Vancouver Whitecaps FC to move through. Will that be a banana skin like last year for the Whitecaps? It would be quite funny. Not so funny for Whitecap fans. Hello. Anyway, next one up, Pacific FC taking on Ottawa FC. Well, that's all she wrote for Atletico Ottawa. I think Pacific FC take that one and give us a semi-final on the West Coast with Vancouver Whitecaps taking on Pacific FC. Moving to the other side of the bracket, Halifax Wanderers taking on Toronto FC. It would be nice to see Halifax give Toronto FC a run for their money, but on the day, I think you've got to think Toronto FC should be good enough to take it. And then the final quarter-final is CF Montreal taking on Forge FC. Montreal is just on fire right now this season, and you've got to think that's going to continue right to the end of the season. Running nicely in MLS soccer, doing very nicely. All our national players are doing nicely too. Got to think on the day, CF Montreal's one big number too much for you, and that being Forge FC. Montreal moving through. And then a second pairing semi-final would then give us Toronto FC against CF Montreal. From that pairing, Vancouver Whitecaps Pacific, I see Vancouver winning through. From the second pairing, Toronto FC and CF Montreal, I see Montreal winning through. And for the final, we'll have to get to the end of the season before we get there. Now, checking a few quick CPL results. You know the upcoming games are coming, but York United win 1-0 over Forge FC. It was a bit of a dull affair, but York United battled, and Forge didn't really push it. York got what they deserved, 1-0. Edmonton 0, Cavalry 3. I watched this game as well. Edmonton didn't have much on the quality. Cavalry seemed to have loads of it and looked like a great team moving forward. Should have a great season. Everton Really, Edmonton, it's going to be a long season, but on the night, Cavalry win 3-0. Looking for another win midweek for Cavalry over Edmonton. Moving on to Saturday's games, Valor FC taking on Halifax Wanderers. Wanderers had loads of chances, couldn't get it in the net, finished 0-0. And finally, Atletico Ottawa taking on Pacific FC. Great game. I'll tell you what, you should have been there, you should have seen it. And I'll tell you what, Pacific FC winning 1-0 on the day. They are a team really in form. Looking at the standings, Pacific FC on top, 13 points, 5 points clear over York United in second. And Cavalry moved down from the bottom of the league up to third, like I said they would. They're now sitting third on 7. And Halifax Wanderers as well, they move up and make it tidy on 7 for your top 4. Rounding out for the week, it's a good week.